being a little girl interested in so many things and having multiple passions, but my parents saying I was too flighty. I had too many things I was interested in. I need to focus. I need to be more disciplined. And for those that know me, they probably laugh because I'm quite disciplined. But it was something that was drilled in my head. Like, if you really want to see success, you do that and you do only that. And that was shown to me. I saw that work for many people. My sister had big success in that, my giving up everything for that one thing. But it just didn't sit right in my heart. And I feel like I've been going against what's natural to me for quite some time. Mm-hmm. So I brought this up with Delenn and Jen and the girls, that I really wanted to make this a conversation, because I don't necessarily, I think for some people, the one thing can be very helpful, but I think more importantly, we need to listen to the true callings that we have. Does anyone have that, where they feel like they don't want to be in a box, that you have other passions and you want to find ways to combine them, that you don't want to just do one thing. You actually want to find a way to do the things that you love, and that you see possibility in that. Anybody?
So
she gave amazing. I know you're muted right now, but I saw your thumbs. Okay, so Katrina feels that.
I've been totally feeling that. And like, I've been all in doTERRA, all in full time for 4 years now, and 5 years now. 5 years full time.
You've had great success.
And it's been great. It's been brilliant, and I've loved it. And same thing with you, Kaylee. Like, it was like, just do these steps and you will have success, right? But the thing is we aren't, like you mentioned with your sister, like you watched her give it all up for the one thing. We are meant to give up anything. And this isn't supposed to be hard, right? Like, we aren't meant to give anything up. Like, that's not why we're here on this earth. Like, we're actually here because we can have it all, which means everything is happening for us all the time, right? And because everything's happening for us, recognizing that, yay, we're here for a reason, right? But at the same time, you can have it all, and you're meant, and that also means like multiple streams of income, or pursuing multiple passions, or pursuing multiple things. But like, how do you take your passion for doTERRA, because there's literally an oil for everything, and like throw it in?
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like I've been trying to search this out, and it's only been in the last year that I was like,
and so I wanted to bring you into it, because I've witnessed Delenn, as I was mentoring her, supporting her, coaching her, cheerleading her over the last few years. She had some really huge goals, and she wasn't sure how it was all going to come together. And like you said, I saw you like push and push and push in doTERRA, but I've never seen you have as much fun as you had, as you have been having. I would say, especially the last quarter of this year, you know, you have poured into these other passions, put less time into doTERRA, but more focused time when you are in it. Yeah. And your doTERRA is growing, your other business stuff is growing. So tell us, let them know, like, you told me this goal ages ago, what you wanted to create, and now you've made this a reality. So yeah. How has doTERRA came into it for you? What does that look like for you? So tell them what your passion was first off.
So my passion is helping people to wake up, and it always has been. Like, even when I first jumped into doTERRA, I was like, I can't believe that I didn't know that this lifestyle existed. Like, what the heck was an essential oil? Like, what? I can make stuff with it. This is so cool. I feel so empowered as a mom, and as a woman, and as a like health connoisseur, and like wanting to stay healthy. Like, this is cool stuff, right? And so when I first was introduced to doTERRA, that was literally like, my brand was Proactive Essential Health. Like, guys, did you know that you could actually be proactive with your health? Like, this is like blowing my mind, right? And when I would teach, that was my thing. I was like, guys, this is crazy. But then what I noticed was,
and in the background, what I heard is she had big goals to speak on stages, to, yes, you know, a lot of other things. And as you can see, she's a natural speaker.
It's my woo. One of my strengths. Exactly. So it's like, this is where like in the background, what was happening was when I always looked at it as, okay, Delyn, you can only have doTERRA. Like, and honestly, when I resigned at the hospital, um, 4 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't even know how many years ago, it's that many years ago, when I resigned there, it was purely under the philosophy and like my theory that if I poured everything into doTERRA, I was gonna like an airplane, right? Well, guess what? I did, right? I took action and we went gold, platinum, diamond, right? And we hovered,
and then
right?
it's done some like detours.
Like right? And but I felt it's been feeling in the last few years specifically like I'm kind of like pushing a boulder up the hill, right? And it had nothing to do with doTERRA. doTERRA's been doing brilliant things, right? And I've still been like so grateful for the fact that like, you know, the months we are hitting diamond, I'm like, holy crap, BOGO months. Like, that's cool that I get to run a business that literally is costing me nothing and they're giving all this free stuff away. Like, it still blows my mind when they offer stuff like that, that I just get to like, all I got to do is talk about it and people buy it. Right. So that the business model, I'm like, this, it's woken me up to this business model. And I've been so grateful for it. But what has actually been happening too is as people get into doTERRA, because I want them to lead a whole lifestyle, I end up coaching them not just on oils, but on, you know, oh, you have a headache? Let me tell you about peppermint. But then also let's like take a step back because we also have to talk about nutrition. We have to talk about sleep. We have to talk about stress. We have to talk about mental health. We have to talk about your self-talk. We've got to talk about fitness. We've got to, right? Because it's the whole thing. It's not just about the oils.
It's not just one thing. It never is just one thing.
Imagine that, right? Like, it's not just about the oils, but it's not about the oils, right? So I always was like, I'm going to use the oils to like sneak people in, like sneak them in my sneakily way. And then I'm going to like educate them on all this other stuff, right? But what I noticed was I was spending a lot of my time educating on all the other stuff and coaching on all the other stuff, right? And my like passion is mindset. Like I love talking about mindset, right? So I was like talking about all these things. And then finally Dave was like, do you like, I challenge you to look at how much time you are spending talking about and coaching on all these other things.
Dave's her husband, for those that don't know.
Dave's my husband, that you're not even getting paid for. Just throwing that out there. And I was like, it's service. And I had all these reasons on why I was just showing up for people, right? But at the end of the day, when I looked at my own goal of like what I wanted my life to look like, it wasn't to be working 90 hours a week doing a bunch of stuff. So I was like, okay, I got to simplify this. So first, got myself a coach, which I was started with her about a year ago, and got some real clarity, right? Had someone call me out on my stuff. That was a key one. And really, I think it was when I finally gave myself permission to start like looking into what I was really passionate about and how I could work doTERRA into it. So long story short, created this, again, the how wasn't up to me. I just knew I wanted to create a whole lifestyle for people and make it super easy. Fast forward a year, we now have a fitness app. We have an app called the High Vibe Society where people can join and have a membership. It gives them all their nutrition. Like I like manifested a dietitian that like creates all these meal plans for me. I've got, again, I'm not a personal trainer, but my husband owns a health club. So he created this fitness app, like, again, not on his radar at all. Right. And I do the coaching piece. Right. And with every coaching package, they get a doTERRA wholesale account, because guess what I coach on? I coach on things like manifestation and like we do visualizations, right? Like I just did a coaching call and it's all through group coaching, right? So I'm not showing up 20 times for everybody. I'm showing up once for a bunch of people, right? So, and I get to educate about oils. Like I just did a class right before this. And because we have a weekly webinar, And before we get started, I'm like, grab your oils, you guys. Let's oil up. Tell me your wins. Let's raise our vibration, right? And I'm like incorporating the oils into it all. And so it's creating
for people that want to understand like how you do that, not only are you educating about them as you're coaching, but do you include it in your packages, your coaching packages, or what?
Yeah.
So is that so like a kit, or what do you do?
Yeah. So every time they start with a coaching package, they get the Healthy Habits Kit. And that was strategic, right? Like the Healthy Habits Kit gets them the vitamins, it gets them Deep Blue Rub, it gets them the 5 key oils to like get them started, right? Mm-hmm. And even 2 of my clients, they already had wholesale, and it comes with a wholesale account, but they already had wholesale accounts. So I said, okay, that's all right. Let's gift the wholesale account to someone like a friend or a family member, and I'll ship the Healthy Habits Kit to you. And they're like, oh, that's a brilliant idea. So now one of their friends or family members gets this wholesale account, right? It's gifted, but I then do a wellness consult with them, right? Do a coaching consult with this person, teach them about the Healthy Habits Kit. And even really Dave said to me, he was just like, but the person you gifted the kit to, they already have a wholesale account with somebody else, and now you're going to get them buying all this doTERRA, like not even underneath of you. But I'm like, that's okay, because I have an abundant mindset, and I know
I love
that like it's all going to come back to me at the end of the day anyways.
And then more people are healthier too.
So and more people are healthier, which is like my end vision, which is brilliant, right? And the person that they gifted it to, I would have never been exposed to them had I not, right? So it's like, how can you take your passion? So maybe you own, maybe you don't even own a storefront, or maybe you're a massage therapist or whatever, right? But like,
let's get to that. I think that's a great question. So like Katrina and Jen, if you guys want to unmute yourself, I really want to make this a conversation and we can support each other with this. So like, what strengths or what passions do you have? I know, Katrina, you've been in your school and doing some really cool things. So if you want to share with the group, then maybe we can, you know, with our ideas, like I love a masterminding kind of call, and this is perfect for that because there's only 4 of us tonight, that we can just bounce off of each other and come up with ways that could possibly support you or support Jen or support me and Dee, and ways that we can incorporate our oils into our other passions. So Katrina, tell the ladies what you're up to.
I've been studying sort of to become a master herbalist, so that was sort of equivalent. You can prescribe sort of herbs to people and stuff to help me there. I also do Reiki and a few massage things and stuff, so but obviously that's completely on hold with being back in tier 4 permanently at the moment up in the north. So yeah, so I'm hoping at some point to be able to combine them all together.
Can you do can you do phone Reiki, like phone energy?
Yeah, you can do it distance, but I prefer to do it sort of.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm just getting creative. I actually had a telephone Reiki the other day, and it was really awesome.
I've done it for a few friends, and they've said it's been.
Yeah, wow. I was just throwing that out there because I'm like, I've heard of this, right? Because it was. I mean, I prefer obviously to be in person too, but it was incredible. Anyways.
So when I think of like herbology, you'll be a herbalist. How were you originally planning to just do that? Like when you're thinking about that, what was coming to mind for you?
Kind of have my own vision of like a wee shop at some point, but it'll be like about another 6 years before I'll be qualified because it's part-time. So yeah, but that's the end goal, a shop that'll have like my wee sort of side bit for my wee
really and as of, where are you in your course right now?
I'm only going into year 2. So yeah, I'll be well to go yet.
That's still like, you've got extra knowledge on this though, which is really neat. So sometimes, and I don't know how many of you guys can relate to this, but I used to feel like I needed to know everything. I mean, so like Kevin's in his nutritional therapy course and he still has, well, half a year and then he's qualified, and he felt like he can't charge or he can't, do anything till he's completely like done. And I was always the same. I need to have all the certifications and I need to, before I can do something. And what I've realized is when we're in it, there's a lot of learnings we're having, whether it's year 1, year 2, a few weeks in, and there's different ways that you can create with that. So for example, what kind of brought it back, like Kevin and I had a big talk about this. You look at professional football coaches, he's into football. So how many of them have actually played the game of football and been huge? Not many. Okay. It's not like they're all professional football players, yet they're incredible coaches. Okay. So there's a mindset is a big thing, like Dylan was saying. But one thing that Kev has started taking on clients, at first it was for free. And I said, why don't you just do it for free? You know, build your experience, build your confidence. And the clients he's working with have had huge success and have been like super grateful and referring him. So he was doing like tons of free sessions, and it's a huge chunk. Like one consult is like 2 hours the first time, and then you revisit, he creates a plan. So I said, then, you know, if you don't want to charge for you to receive, where can it go towards a charity that you care about? So then he started charging that way, and that built even more confidence. It got to go, he was able then to serve someone else, and he felt fine doing that. But we've now applied his knowledge into other things. So we just did our ebook that we released. It got pre-launched the other week, but today, last night it came out officially. And he has nutritional tips all throughout it. He has different tidbits that he added from his knowledge, from the stuff he studied. And so it's not like we're charging what we felt was right internally for us to charge, but that's him using his education, even though he's not done, to earn based on his knowledge and how much he lives it. It's not like even though he's studying it and there's so much to learn, he's never going to know it all.
No,
Like
you can always learn.
So there's ways you can create, like ebooks are really handy. If you have a type of knowledge that you want to put it out in some way, once you're done it lives wherever you want it to live. So it could just be a PDF and people PayPal you, which is the easiest probably, but you can use Shopify. You can, like, it's all available now. And like we just YouTube videos to figure out how to do it. That's literally what we did. So and I'm not a chef, neither one of us is, but we like plant-based food. It's a passion of ours. So, and Katrina, I see you rocking, like your crouton recipe was amazing. Ours was not near as good compared to yours. Like we all have different things, right? So Jen, how about you? What are your things that you're into right now?
I'm actually curious to hear how the ebook process went for you.
In what way?
I mean, that was a huge learning curve to be able to create, I assume it was a PDF.
Yeah. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and then just to be able to charge for it, and like how long do you make it, and how interactive do you make it, and is there clickable links throughout it? And I mean, that's a huge process.
So that's a great question. At first, we kind of felt like we looked at, and I know Dee and I talked about this earlier, like who are we making it for? What is the problem we're looking to solve? And what have we been requested for so many years from people? And it is, people want easy recipes. So we looked at the feedback we had been given, and did that align with what we wanted to create too? So for us, people wanted easy plant-based recipes. They actually wanted a plan. They don't want us to send them somewhere else. That was a big thing. Because I used to, like Dylan said, in a wellness consult, I'd give them so much information. I'd send them all the links to some of my favorite recipes. They didn't want that. They wanted like, here's your week plan. Here's exactly what to make all in one place. And simple with ingredients that they could get like anywhere. So for us, and then how do you get their kids to eat it too? Those were things that were going on in our mind. Is first, what are we solving? Then it was like, we would take notes in our journal over the last few years. What recipes, like there's a lot more recipes that our kids love that we love, but they're either more challenging or it wouldn't be as easy to transition into if you've not ate plant-based yet. So they wouldn't solve what we were trying to create for people, which is like that transition phase, at least through this book. Big learning curves around, like you said, how many recipes? Like that was really challenging. Some people have 100 recipes in a book, and that just felt like too much. Like I said, people wanted like a week or 2 week plan max, but usually about a week is what they wanted to try plant-based eating for a week. So we kind of did that. And then we wanted it oily too, because that's something we're passionate about. A lot of our customers use oils. How much to use, how little to use, how about temperatures? So we knew we wanted to give extra education, and that pantry was important to us. Like what to stock in your home, healthy habits we included. So we end up having 13 pages of just like education before the recipes. So it was like education on tips to like eating vegan as a beginner, tips on healthy habits on this journey, like surrounding yourself with positive people, like simple things like that. And then essential oil tips. And then we got into the recipes, gave them a pantry list. Canva's great. I'm familiar with it, so we used it, but I purchased a template for the ebook, which just made it easier for design and it made it consistent. So I wasn't like playing around with all the different things I could have, and I can waste time in there because I like it. So it was making sure it was easier for me to buy like creative, I think it's called .com. There's different creators that have small businesses, and that's what they do. So I thought I want to buy from someone that's not like an Amazon, but more like that is their business. And so I purchased from a girl on there and she could tweak it for me how I wanted. And then we have a ton of books. So it's like, what do we love about different books? And then some of our ideas have gone on like our board for our next books. Like we have a list of different things we want to create in the future, but it didn't suit this one. So it's like, we would toss ideas at each other. And then once we figured out what we wanted, we played around with the recipes a lot. Like, so our kids ate the same things and us a lot within the year. Cause it's like, okay, we're gonna try a little bit different or try this. What do you like better? Yeah. And then like Kevin will do a lot of recipes, but not write it down, which makes it challenging. So like, and then he'd say, I know it, but then he wouldn't remember it by the time it was time to like put in the book. So the hardest bit right now is our photographer. She, because of lockdown in her area, she couldn't come do our photos as planned. So that meant that was the most challenging thing was like, how do we do the photos so that like to the quality of what we wanted and desired? And that was a passion of mine. I like taking photos and I like setting things up. So we ordered like a cheap backdrop and I have my ring light that's right here and whoops, and it goes flying. And like Kev would hold the ring light behind me while I took photos. So that was it. But we kind of figured out as we went, like now we know what it takes to do it. And pricing wise was probably my most challenging thing because I would say when I look at my human design, the way my human design, if you're into human design, that is a part that in my human design, I don't see my skills and my strengths, or so I have a hard time coming up with a price. But I have luckily, well, Michaela did my human design that some of you know, and one of our mutual friends is Caroline, who's very clear on pricing, like has no questioning about. So I looked at books, ebooks, I knew the cost of them. And then I also knew the time we invested. And based on the time, I probably could have charged a lot more. But I know based on, and I shouldn't compare or look at other things, to be honest. At the same time, I had to, like, Kev and I went back and forth too. And a lot of it's mindset, I feel like, when it comes to pricing and getting more confident in that. So we chose the price thinking of where our customer base is, which is Canada and here. Canadians will pay double because of the exchange. And whereas over here it's as is. So yeah, tons of learnings, Jen. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah.
At the end of the
Sounds
day,
like it. That was awesome.
It's like taking what you're passionate about and creating another stream of income while also incorporating your doTERRA into it. So like, think about how anybody could do that, right? Like, could you, and even if you don't want to write an ebook, could you, like, I prefer to talk, right? I can create a 5-day webinar, or I'm about to offer a 2-day one tomorrow and the next day, right? Getting ready for the new year. And then you package it up and you sell it. Right? It'll be housed on my website and people can buy it after, right? Like, and it comes with a workbook that I just created in Canva, which is like an ebook, right? And it doesn't have to be hard or difficult. The key is going, what am I passionate about? And then how can I pair this with all of my other passions?
And how can I use these guys right here?
Create a
come up with ideas.
Yeah, because, and And that's the fun part, right? And giving yourself permission to like, just like, I love your story, Kaylee, because it's just like, you're not going to get it right the first time, and that's okay. You're not here to do everything perfect. You're here to take action and take imperfect action and learn along the way. Like, you're not going to fail. The only way you fail is if you quit, and that's not a thing. So just take action on whatever you're passionate about, right? Like, if you have kids and you're really passionate about kids, how can you package something up? Because you're not the only person that loves essential oils in kids or essential oils in pets, right? Like, you look at the essential oil vet, she has a brilliant brand for herself, right? And all she did was take her two passions and throw them together. And Elena Brower took her passion for yoga, right?
And design, creativity. She writes books and journals, and
yeah, and you watch her and she slips oils in. She's not like in your face about it, but she like slips them in everywhere.
It's just part of who she is.
Exactly, right? It's brilliant. I love it. And she's selling a ton of oils, has a huge team.
Like Katrina, I already like, it's not things you mentioned, but you in my mind, you could create like, it could be I know you're less about teaching a big class or anything. So that's why I think ebook for you are one-to-ones, but I see like you could easily talk about gardening tips, gardening for the beginners like me and how to grow your own produce and what that looks like, especially for those in Scotland, because I find weather here challenging, and there's nothing like that out there. Like Jen, I've seen you now step more into a niche lately, which is a new.
That's what I like about this conversation. I feel like it's bringing a lot of conversations that we've had over the weeks together about finding your niche and social media and how that works, and you're inviting and sampling and connecting with other people. It's really good chat, girls.
Yeah. But it's about, at the end of the day, just sitting, like Kaylee, you talked about just getting your journal out and just talking about like, what am I passionate about? What do I gravitate to? Who do I follow on social media, and where do I see a gap? Like, what am I looking for that nobody's really creating? Right? Like, I know that's what I did for myself, and mine's not even finished. Like, I can't even brag about this stuff because I'm like, it's not even done yet. Like it's done. Like, you can download my app and all that kind of stuff, right? But it was just like, I just had this vision of like, how do I create this so that it's really simple so people can live this lifestyle? Because there's people that have this and they have this, but I wasn't seeing someone bring it all together with the oils, with the mindset, do you know what I mean? Like, all of it, right? Without making it so overwhelming, but then also so that everything was one click away, right? Because don't send me here and there and there and whatever, right? So it's like, what are you wanting? Or your avatar, aka you of 5 years ago or whatever, what's she looking for? What does she wish that existed? How can you show up in that space for her? And in the process, like, be you, right? Because like, yeah, like there's so much opportunity. There's so much opportunity to combine all your passions together. And the truth is that you can have it all anyways. You don't have to choose. You can be a doTERRA double, triple, quadruple presidential diamond and have your own shop and do house Reiki and be a kick-ass ebook person and be a coach and be a nutritionist, and right? And the thing is that you have, everything's already created. So you have everything already right now to get it done. We're just like standing in our own way because we think we got to like focus on one thing. The process is still the same. Like, even with coaching, I sample them, right? Like, I give them something free. I invite them to learn more. I enroll them. I support them, right? Like, I'm piping everybody. Yeah, I just said that.
Oh.
Hey ladies, I'm gonna have to jump off and do my story time with the kids.
Yep.
Lots of love. Happy.
On that note,
2021.
Happy end to 2020.
Yes. See you guys in 2021. See you next year.
Night, ladies.
Yeah.
Good night.